Shoot.
Coach, why don't we open with a quick statement first, just general thoughts on the game, and then we'll open up for questions.
Certainly real excited with how we played, especially early. I think this time of year you get 16 teams playing, they're all good teams. That's a good football team that we just played. I think we played them really well. Obviously going to be happy anytime you can go in halftime 40-something to 0. But the manner in which we were able to do it with the energy and even with some third and fourth down stops, I thought was really awesome. And then taking the ball away on those 3 interceptions in the first half. So we're clicking on all phases right now, playing as well as I've ever seen us play on defense, and playing some really good offense and special teams too.
Coach, I asked you earlier, best first half ever, and you mentioned the St. John's game. Best playoff first half ever?
Without a doubt. I mean, how can you argue? What was the halftime score?
41.
How can you argue 41-0 at halftime versus a team that's anywhere from number 12 to number 14 in the country?
16.
16, depending on what you look at. And they're a big, strong, physical football team. And for us, this is the second week in a row we've been able to basically play our starters for a half, and then allow the other guys to play the rest of the game. Certainly makes it more stressful when you only have 58 guys on the sideline to do that with come playoff time as opposed to 140. But we were able to move some guys around and get them a lot of reps, and those guys had success too, which was fun to see.
When you just mentioned playing as well as you've been playing on defense, is this the best defense you've had, or just did they turn a corner as the season wound down? So I think that you were back, we had you shut them out last week and just allowed 6 this week, and you had backups.
Yeah, I mean, our starters have not allowed a touchdown, I think, now in a month and a half, which is pretty good. Anytime you can measure that, most people measure that by quarters, we're able to say months, so that's good. I think it is the best our defense has played. Certainly last year, we were playing well. 2011 was also a great defense. But this one's just so dynamic. It can get to the quarterback, it can stop the run. And when the ball's in the air, these guys get to the ball as well as any, and they're on the defensive side. And that's one of the things that it's tough to explain as a coach, but you sit there and the ball's in the air, and sometimes you get nervous when you're on defense and the ball's in the air. If that ball's in the air, quite often I'm sitting there saying, you know what, we have as good, if not a better shot than the other team with that ball. And the way we're attacking that, I think, is pretty awesome.
Is this your most balanced team?
That's a great question. Yes, I would say it's probably our most. Last year was pretty tremendous balance. Number one or two in the nation all year long, offensively, defensively, special teams. It was dominant last year. We had 278 reps of special teams with only 7 penalties, and led the nation in kickoff, so that was pretty good. But this is it's as good as it gets. You can win games in a lot of different ways, and I use the word dynamic often, but I use it to mean just that. A dynamic team is a team that can find many ways to win a game, and I think we have them.
Well, Alex, you threw for 3 touchdown passes the first half, but you ran for a long one. Talk about that play.
Yeah,
You obviously weren't looking to run.
No, it was like you said, it was a pass play, but when things get broken down, we say when it's great, make a play, and just open up in the middle, and saw a nice opening to the end zone.
For those of you you were all part of this team last year, right?
Yes.
How much is that ache from losing it what's driving you now? Any one of you can answer.
Definitely one thing that's driving us. There's a lot of things that drive us this season. We want to be we want to be the most cohesive team we've ever had. That's what drives us. We set goals every year, and that drives us. So, yeah, definitely want to get back to the championship. Losing that, yeah, that's definitely a motivating factor.
Michael, talk about the interception. There's your school record 11.
Yeah.
You tied it last week. Congratulations. What happened on that play?
It was a fade route, similar to the pick last week. Fade route on a bail, pretty much same situation as last week. So.
Overthrew it a little bit.
Yeah, I think he overthrew it a little bit. The receiver didn't think I was going to get there. Could have been the offensive pass interference, but just had to fight through that and get the ball.
The catch itself is pretty amazing. It's a catch you don't see a lot of guys
Yeah.
on offense make very much.
When I asked you before, and you mentioned it's probably your most balanced team. How much does Alex play a part in that? Because the team you just beat is a run-dominating team, and once they went behind or fell behind, it wasn't likely they were going to make a big rush. With a quarterback who can throw like he can, you're really not out of any game, are you? And you seem to have much more balance running and passing than last year when it was a running back that you depended on.
Right, so typically our run pass play calls, usually over a 20-year period, are about very close to 50-50. Last year, as the playoffs moved on, it was skewed because that was the type of team that we developed into, was on offense, was a run team. Keep in mind, Johnny Gould still threw for 3,000 yards last year, so he did a really good job. Difference being, Alex now opens up different areas of the field with his arm and his efficiency doing it. So it's, we're never going to be a 70-play game pass offense. We're never going to be a 70-play game run offense. We believe in balance in everything we do, physically, literally, emotionally. And his arm allows us to affect areas of the field that not many teams in this country can affect. It certainly goes without saying. A lot of things have to go into that, right? He has to be well protected. He has to have a strong core of wide receivers. And this is, even though we've had better receivers and receiver statistics in past years, this is certainly the best cohesive core that we've had with the top fours.
Now, Alex, your backup could say this, but are you a D1 player in a D3 program?
I'm a St. Thomas quarterback. I'm not going to look at any of that. I chose this school because this was the right fit for me.
Coach loves that.
It's true.
That's the way it is. Most of our guys, I'm going to tell you, most of our guys have options to play at a lot of different schools. Some of those schools are Division III, some of those schools are Division II, some of those schools are Division I. And they choose to come here for a specific purpose.
Let me just ask that, Alex, did you get any D1 offers or interest?
I did not.
All right.
Will, we almost had 2 100-yard rushers today. Josh was off.
Yeah, we thought he had 100 when we pulled.
No, he had 90.
I know. I'm going to have to go back and look at the film.
Talk about what it's like to block for a guy like Treadle, and then Parks comes in, and then Wagner comes in. I mean, you guys, this team have an endless supply of running backs. What's it like to block for those guys?
Yeah, we have some serious depth at running back, as you can see, and as you said. But really, we just execute our plays, no matter who's back there. Doesn't really matter to us. We just block our plays, and it works.
Adam, what's it like to contribute to this defense in the company of a lot of seniors as a sophomore?
Oh, it's a big honor. Our defense has been playing lights out. There's a lot of role models on this defense for sure. Playing with those guys and having the best time of my life playing with those guys, and really just thankful to be part of this defense.
Coach, you probably heard Oshkosh won.
Yeah.
Close game going up until the end of the third quarter. How do you see St. Thomas matching up with them, in terms of, especially in terms of like line play, because they're pretty physical?
I'm a big fan of the way they play football. I had a chance to watch them film over the last couple of years and this year as well. Certainly we played them here in the national semifinals back in 2012, and they brought a tough team. They're very athletic, and they're strong, and they're fast, and they're dynamic within their scheme. So they do a lot on defense, a lot. And their offense has some option components to it. They have a quarterback who can make some plays. And it's a if it's not one of the top teams in the country, then you'd have to prove to me otherwise. But very excited for the matchup. When the brackets come out, you try not to look ahead, but you know how it could work out. And certainly around 3, St. Thomas, St. John's game would have been awesome. Just that we were able to play them last year in the playoffs, but we know that the team that Oshkosh will be bringing here is capable of winning at the highest level.
So it's definitely here.
They'll announce that. No, it's not. I mean, they announced it.
2 losses, though.
One.
Or
They'll
those two.
they'll announce it tomorrow.
Or seeded higher.
Yes.
Alex, when early in the game when you had a turnover inside your territory, this team does not get rattled, does it? I mean, some teams would panic and there would be a lot of issues. There's no issues with, if something goes bad, you just move on. What's the attitude of this team when there's something like that happens?
We embrace adversity. We know it's a long game, so we're not going to look at a mistake and get all flustered by it. So we know that we're just going to put that behind us and get ready for the next possession, make changes, and move from there.
Any final questions? All right, that'll do it. Thanks, guys.